coming for. When she smiles, my heart beats from my chest. It takes right off into the evening air. Oh, oh, oh. I caught her eye dancing by the seaside. Talk for hours, kiss on the cheek, good night. Oh, 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 oh.
Hi everyone, I'm John Solarco. You're watching Nick and Jill's Red and Blue Review on Red and Blue News. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Red and Blue News. It's Sunday evening, it's 8 o'clock, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Red and Blue Review. I am your host. My name is Nick Philpott, and I'm joined this evening by Jill Holyoke, of course, but we are also very delighted to be joined by our very special guest and twice Crystal Palace player, Neil Shipperley, will be joining us any second now. Jill, good evening, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm all right. Yourself?
All right, mate. Okay. And Neil's here. Hello, buddy. How are you?
All good, chaps. All good.
Welcome to the show, mate. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Okay. So coming up in tonight's show, we're going to be discussing another 3 points gained on the road, this time at Turf Moor. We're also going to be going through some of the many, many questions that you guys have sent in for Neil. And thank you so much to each and every one of you. I'm hoping we're going to get through a whole heap of them later on in the show, but we'll be doing that in the second half of the show. We're going to be talking about next week's crucial home fixture against that lot down on the south coast. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation. But before we start, I have a message that I'd like to read out from from Proud and Palace. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no place for discrimination of any kind at Selhurst Park, and that includes homophobic language chanting when we face Brighton or any other team. We at Red and Blue News and the Red and Blue Review fully support the message put out by our very good friends at Pride and Palace. After all, there are hashtag 99 reasons to hate Brighton. Homophobia does not need to be one of them. So we echo everything you guys stand for, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with you at Proud and Palace. Okay, so boys, if it's okay with you, we're going to jump straight in, and we're going to start talking about yesterday's lineup, because there was a few talking points from that. So hopefully Greg will pop the lineup on the screen for you in a second. So, Jill, we'll kick off with you if you don't mind. 5 changes, which included Hennessy in for Guaita, Wan-Bissaka in for Ward, Kouyaté in for MacArthur, Mayer in for Townsend, and Dan in for Kelly. So do you think, my first question to you, mate, do you think that they are enforced changes, or was the manager saving some of them for the 2 big games coming up, one against Brighton and one, obviously, the quarter-final in the FA Cup against Watford? What do you think?
Well, we sort of touched on this last week, to the point where what I said is a really strange situation now, where we've got to get used to having like squad rotation, and I think that's all it is. I think with Hennessy, I mean, Roy said after the game that he was going to, he was aware that they were just going to hump the ball up in the air, that he's the tallest out of the 2 goalkeepers, and thought he would be the better keeper on the day. So you have to trust him. I mean, Andros has been ever present. He just runs his nuts off all the time. Give him a bit of a rest. Same with Maka. It's I think that one of the changes, only 5 changes, but Aaron was back, so that was always going to happen, really. So yeah, I'm wasn't too fussed about it. I mean, Burnley are in the same sort of position as us, sort of teetering with trouble. So it was always going to be what I thought was going to be a difficult game. It turned out to be a difficult game, but just again, the second week in a row, we've just been more clinical than the opposition, which is, been the whole story of this season, the complete reverse. 25, 30 chances in a game, and not scoring at all.
Taking one of them, yeah.
Yeah, and now we're taking, righty had it bang on, Denise. Someone's going to get an hiding off Palace soon. you know, Leicester got one, and I think Burnley got a lesson in finishing yesterday. So yeah. So.
On that subject, and Neil, I'm coming to you because I want to pick your brains as we've got the privilege of having a former striker on the show. Neil, why Batshuayi over Benteke, and would you have done the same thing?
Yeah, 100%. As a striker, my thoughts are, I mean, Benteke, he got 17 goals in a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a long and distant memory now. I think you have to judge strikers on how they're playing at the moment or their form. I thought Benteke's form all of last season, to be honest, was poor. And I was just so relieved that we signed Batshuayi. I mean, for me, he hasn't got the presence of Benteke, i.e. 6'4" and stuff like that. But what he is a completely different player regarding his brain. Like a football brain, we call it. I think he's such a clever player. He likes playing off the shoulders. He's got a bit of everything, and it's just not a fluke that since he's come in the side, we look a lot more relaxed. We look like we're going to score goals, rather as before. I think it was a little bit, we were hoping to score goals.
Cheers. And your thoughts on the Hennessy and Guaita goalkeeper?
Yeah, I didn't. It was interesting what JL said there. I didn't hear Roy say that, and now he said that, it makes complete sense. For me, Hennessy, before we had the problems with injuries, I thought he was one of our players of the season. I really did. I think he was playing really well. Obviously, I've only been really following Palace quite, since I've had the gig up at Palace doing the corporate for the last couple of seasons. So, for me, I mean, I don't understand why the fans turn on him or he gets a stick as much as he does. For me, I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but I think when he does come in, I think he is a good goalie. He made some good saves yesterday as well. So yeah. We've got luxury that we've got a lot of players now. Obviously we can fill different positions, and if Roy thinks quite clearly we're going to lump it and stuff, then why not? I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense for me.
And I think some of it is to do with the confidence that the back four have in whoever's behind them. It's something Jill and I have spoken about on more than one occasion. That they seem to play better as a back four unit, knowing they've got Guaita behind them, okay? And they are always aware that whilst Hennessy's a great goalkeeper, and nobody on here will badmouth him and slag him off, but there is a mistake waiting to happen with him. But as you quite rightly pointed out, Bill, there was he made one fantastic save that we're going to come on to in a minute. Okay. Anyway, so we'll move on with the game a little bit, boys. What I'd like to do for everybody is we're going to trot through the game, then we're going to come on to some of your questions in a little while. So Crystal Palace put in another superb away performance to win at bottom half rivals Burnley to take another step towards securing their top flight status. The two sides went into the game level on 30 points each, and Palace made the early breakthrough through Jeffrey Schlupp's cutback that cannoned in off Phil Bardsley's thigh into his own net. Burnley began to show their frustration towards the end of the first half, with Michy Batshuayi doubled their lead, double Palace's lead just after the break, sweeping in a low ball from fullback Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Palace continued to keep it tight, and while Wilfried Zaha grabbed the goal his work rate and class deserved, tormenting the Burnley defence before firing low past Tom Heaton. Ashley Barnes pulled one back late on, while Burnley substitute Peter Crouch almost set up a nervy finish, but Palace held on to claim their third straight away game in all competitions. The victory lifted Palace up to 13th in the Premier League, putting 8 points between them and the relegation zone. While Burnley dropped one place to 16th, 5 points clear of third from bottom Cardiff. Right, okay, Joe. We know the first half was pretty boring. Few speculative chances from both sides, mainly from Burnley. Not an awful lot happened. Let's go straight into the first goal. Kouyaté burst forward from midfield, lays it off to Zaha in the right channel. He then runs it at Taylor. He cuts the ball back across the goal mouth, missing everybody. Schlupp, it's a back post and then cannons in. So, how did you read that?
No. See, now the thing is, I just watched all the goals again just to refresh myself.
Yeah.
The move was started with Luke. He fires the ball into Kouyaté, lays it off to Wilf. Wilf then one touch gives it back to him, but then Kouyaté bursts forward and he stopped on the edge of the area. He then puts it wide to Wilf I mean, Wilf has just had their left back and the left-sided centre-back on toasted the whole game. It was ridiculous. And, Wilf fires it across, but Schlupp is running in a direct line down the edge of the 6-yard box.
I'm watching it right now.
I mean, just watch where he hits it back from. From literally, he should be on the back post, but he's not. He's 10 feet left. It was quite bizarre, really.
He was.
How on earth he's managed to get himself there? But anyway, and what he does is he gets the ball back, thumps it back, and Bardsley's in the way, can't do anything about it. But kudos to Schlupp for being where he was. I think, I mean, if he'd have been sort of 7 or 8 feet the other, towards the goal, he would have had a tap in. But just to get, I don't know. Yeah, it was sort of strange, quite a bizarre, and again, it was in the 15th or 16th minute, but completely against the run of play. But yeah, like I said, I am, and I'll make no bones about it. I'll say it again today. Schlupp is like in the same game, he does great stuff, and then he does rubbish stuff. The first 10 minutes, he couldn't pass the ball. He was literally shooting passes at our players. In the first 10 minutes. I mean, I know we definitely have changed our style of passing. You can see that we are pinging the ball at each other, and that's only happened in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And
why is that? Why is that?
Well, so obviously everyone else does it, and I think we've just been playing catch up with some of the big boys. That's what I think. You look at some of the other teams. I mean, they hit the ball at each other. The Liverpool do it fantastically, but yeah, I was just it was quite a strange goal. And again, Kouate was at the heart of all 3 goals yesterday, but he put it wide to Wilf, and like I say, he skinned their left back, thrashes the ball across, and Jeff comes in, 10 foot past the back post, hits it, cuts it back in, and hits Bardsley. But yeah, it was quite strange because we were really under it.
So Neil, Jill said that Wilf had their left back on toast all afternoon. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, lovely to see him play again with. Looks like he's got his freedom back, playing with a smile, and that's all we want. We want him happy playing, because there's not a player who can do. We've got good players, don't get me wrong, but when we get Wilf playing and when he wants to play, it's absolutely magical to watch. There's going to be some people watching this, maybe a bit older. I mean, for me, he's the best player Crystal Palace has ever had, without a shadow of a doubt. And when he plays like that, it's great. I mean, Schlupp, when you get in that wide area, you're going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt, like the right reason. He's hit an area, because normally if someone goes down the left wing, you look at either, is anyone free near post? Can we put it far post to that? He's just gone, I'm going to put it in a nice area. And that might happen another 30 times. Nothing will happen. But that particular time, he couldn't do nothing about it. Bardi put it in his own net, and it was a great start to the game. One thing I would say about Schlupp is, like the other night, I don't know if anyone else knows why he took Van Arnold off and put Schlupp left back. And
left a huge hole.
Well, I mean, he cost us the goal with Lukaku. I mean, the game was over. It's not his fault, but them kind of things, I just can't. I was going to say was he injured, but he weren't, because he played against Burnley. So that was a bit of a mystery. He was out of position for Ashley Young's goal as well. But I think, as Jill said, he does great stuff and bad stuff. But I think he's been having some good games. But just keep him up a little bit. I don't really want to see him back left back.
Okay, I'm going to come straight to you in a minute, Neil, if you don't mind, for the second goal, Burnley's second goal. But a very quick question, because it's about to be something that the guys mentioned in the chat later on. Are we going to be able to keep both Wilf and Aaron Wan-Bissaka at the end of the season?
I don't know. I mean, agents-wise, you don't know if they're getting in their head. Wilf, for me, you can, we might need half a day to talk about. It's such a, when do you sell Wilf? And I think we have to realise there is a market where if the bid comes in, which we all think that's what he's worth, then I'm afraid realistically he's going to go.
Yeah.
What they've got to start thinking about is, he's now hit form, and Wilf don't, it's like every player. You can't play well every single week. And I feel if his value hits a peak, and you do get that, 60s, 70s, it might have to be, well, do you know what? For the best of the club, we might have to cash in. Aaron's a little bit different. He's only just, he's just, what's he had a year? He's just marked his anniversary, I think, isn't he? So he's still got a lot to learn, but I've never seen a kid learn and do what he's done in a year. It's absolutely brilliant. I love the way that he just, he floats around the place. He don't look like he's laid back. He hasn't got any kind of an attitude at all. He just looks like he's enjoying his football. So I'd like to think we could have another season or so with him. Because I think
what's his current market value? What would you say his current market value is, Neil?
What age-wise? I mean, it looks like he's going to get in the England squad. You've got to be going. It's top end, isn't he? He would get in now, and he's only had a year. He would get in. He might have a fight up with Kyle Walker at City and Liverpool with Trent. But apart from that, I think he'll walk in anyone's team. So you've got to put him up top end. And what's the top end? Probably 50 million, isn't it?
That's what I said. That's what I said. I said last week. I thought.
Excuse me, Joe. Neil, I wish you'd have said 20 million or something like that, because that's now going to go to his head. Okay, and he's going to. I'll put your big bollocks there. He's going to be giving it a large one now.
No. All I did was I thought that he needed this year to try and catch up with Walker. I still think experience-wise, Walker and possibly Trippier at Spurs. And at Trent as well, because at the moment they've got the free kicks in their locker, and he doesn't. That's the thing. Trippier's done it for England as well, so he's got another year. I'd like to see him with us, obviously this season and all of the next. And then, like you say, he's a 50 million pound player if you've ever seen one. When he's how on earth any other paper, any other website or anything can have a different right back in their side when they do the team of the week, the team of the month, the team of the season. So the stats say that he is the best right back in Europe by a country mile. So, and the thing is, because of his age, because he's 20, the wingers, they're targeting him. So he's always going to be in the game. I mean, I've never seen anyone have Mane. He had Mane in his pocket to the point where Mane, when we were playing Man City and we beat him, he had to come into centre midfield to get the ball, because he just didn't get a kick outside. So I think he's just, the more I see him, the more fantastic he is. And the more that, again, we have these player in a generation. Wilf's got his second spell at us, but, he's been with us since he was a kid and made his debut at 16 or whatever it was. He's 26 now. He's been with us 10 years. We forget that. Apart from that year, he's been with us for actually 10 years. So he is another. Aaron is a player of a generation for us. So we should cherish him while he's still there. But I still think, that the money he's on now is enough. And he, he's from my manor. He comes to the new estate in Adderton, New Adderton. So I love the
Neil
fact
just said in the chat. Of course, let's not forget. He also is there coming in with assist as well. Yeah, assist from yesterday as well.
Yeah. But the thing is, he should be. We can't rush this, but we do know that he has got that right side in his locker, because he's a converted right winger. They did say that they didn't think he was going to make it as a right winger, so they tried him at right back, and he's just ridiculous. Like literally ridiculous, and to the point where we know people involved at Palace on the periphery and see this and speak to those, this and that. And the person that we were speaking to said, "Have we got anyone coming through the academy?" And he said, "No." And then 3 weeks later, he's playing the first of 7 or 8 games at the end of last season, and he's shutting out Rashford. He's shutting out the England strikers and really decent, world class. I think his first 6 games he had City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United. It was ridiculous. Talk about fall on your feet and take your chance. Joel Ward must be gutted.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the voice there of the wonderful and talented Joe Holyoke, Mr. Football, and you've also been joined by former England striker, former Palace striker, Neil Shipperley. Thank you for wherever you are watching in the world. We are truly humbled to have you part of our little show. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Right, Neil, we're going to go to goal number 2. So just straight after the break, really, I think it was the 48th minute. Missy Batshuayi, the visitors work it out to Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right, and a young English fullback whips in a low ball and swept in first time by Missy Batshuayi. Tom Heaton had no chance. You'd have been proud of that strike, wouldn't you?
Great move, great move. That's, I mean, what with Basaka, I don't think we have to sort of question his defending. He's learned it, the art of tackling is made now. I mean, you don't see many people make the tackles he does. So, but why I said that earlier was now going forward, this is what he's got to do. Is, sometimes he thinks, oh, I've got forward, what do I do? And he's got to get that bit into his game. But yesterday, if you watch it, he didn't have a lot to hit. He hit that. He knew what he wanted to do, and he's hit that. It was precise. But Schwei, that's a sign of a striker who knows what to do. When that ball's come over, I can guarantee you, he's thinking, well, the pace is on the ball. I'm just going to get a good contact on this. The pace is going to take care of itself, and before you know it, that's hit the net. But he's visualised that without a shadow of a doubt. When that ball's come across, he knows what he wanted to do, and they're the best ones. He'd be very proud of that because. The one the other week where he sort of stuck his toe out. Again, that might not happen, but that's he could try that and it might not happen, but he did. He knew what he wanted to do there. It's just an instinct with a striker. If his ball's going near the target, he tries to get there, and he did. So I'm really pleased with him. It's something we've been lacking, and it's just like that goal yesterday was superb.
Neil, would it be fair to say that goal typifies the difference between him and Benteke?
Yes, yes,
instinctive shot.
But we can't. I mean, we all want the Benteke back of 2 years ago. You don't score, what was it, 17 Premiership goals or whatever it was. You don't do that being a bad player, or you don't fluke those. You can fluke a couple. So he's just gone from a player that has scored them goals to a player that last season. I do look up in the lounge and you talk about what he should be doing now as a striker. I mean, I went through games where you just can't score. But what you'll say to yourself is, I'm going to run around. I'm going to run around. I'm going to wait for that chance to happen, and I'm not going to waste it. And he had chances last season, and he wasted them. It's as simple as that.
Okay, well, Joe, let's move on to the third goal, where Palace go 3-0 up. So Czech Kouyaté squares to the Palace forward just outside the Burnley box. He runs at the home defence, turning Ben Mee once and Charlie Taylor once, inside out, okay, before, I said Kouyaté, of course I meant Zaha, before firing low pass, Tom Heaton from 10 yards. Goalkeeper had no chance. So you particularly wanted a picture of Ben Mee on his arse for some reason, Joe. Was that right?
No, I just saw that. I tweeted, he sent Taylor and me for coffee and donuts. I mean, he literally has just and a massage for Whiplash. I mean, they were going left and right, and he was at his best yesterday. Wilf, he definitely is. He was massively up for it. And I think what we need to touch on first is during the second half of the first half is that Burnley tried to target Wilf. They kept kicking him, like properly kicking him as well, to the point where he was just going to the referee. But what is going on? And you could see that they were targeting him, and obviously trying to, they've seen what's happened with him reacting, but it was nice to see the referee actually giving him a little bit of protection. But they definitely tried to I'll say try to do him. That was nothing like the Watford tackle, but they were definitely going after him yesterday. But he was so up for it yesterday. I mean, and again, it was Kouyaté winning the ball, gives it to him, and 1-on-1, 2-on-1. He's gonna, in the mood he's in. There was only really going to be sort of. He was just going to score. I couldn't see him not scoring at some stage yesterday.
Neil, I've got a double question for you, if you don't mind. Okay. Towards the end of the game, I think it was the 89th minute, Roy took him off and replaced him with Townsend. Was that saving him for the up-and-coming fixtures? And the other question, from a striker's point of view, were there too many dragbacks in that box? Should he have struck it earlier? Your thoughts, please.
Well, the third goal, he took him off to go have a breather now. I would have thought you work for the day's done, and and we've got a replacement like Townsend. So that goes like for like. He can have that one, that's for sure. Boy, that was a sub where we probably all would clap our hands. The dragbacks, look, that's Wilf. You know, if I would have attempted that and got away with one, I certainly wouldn't have tried going back and doing another one. But we're talking about Wilf Zaha here. He is natural talent. You know, you can't teach things like that. I mean, that's just, you know, he's basically taking the piss out of the defender to saying, look, I can do it again if I want to, but now I will score. And then he trots off. So that's what we want to see, Wilf doing that, because as JL said, and you can't blame teams for wanting to target him, because we all know that if you can get Wilf out of the game by hurting him, then, you know, it's going to be it's like taking 3 players off for us. We do need him. So, you know, but there's a lawful way of doing it. Every right manager would always say that, go and see, you know, give him a kick, see if he comes back, or can he get him out of the game. But, you know, Wilf yesterday was saying, okay, but you do that, but this is what I can do. Like he did at Huddersfield at the start, you know, early on in the season when he just cut in. And, you know, we need to get him a little bit more angry, I suppose, because that's what he can do, and not many players can do that. It's fantastic to watch. It was absolutely brilliant.
Jill?
Yeah, just really quickly, I'm just trying to find Graham as term mates, Graham O'Neill, and do you know what? I'm old enough to have seen some of this, but Graham said Zaha's goal was almost like George Best. George Best used to do that, didn't he? He used to go one way, stop, then go the other way and start, and he go, yeah, that's quite a good likeness. I wouldn't say he's as good as George Best, not yet, anyway. But yeah, but no, it's like I say, there's been quite a few people. We'll pick out some comments in a minute, Nick, in the chat. I'll pick some out. But
thank you, mate. Can we come to those in a second? I just got one on Wilf. I've got one last before we move on. I've got one quick question to Neil, which has come from Ben. As a striker who thrived on crosses, would you find playing with Wilf or players like him frustrating, waiting for the ball to come in?
That's a fair question. Yeah, you can do. But I do remember coming down Selhurst a few years ago when we had Balassi, and it was like a cross fest. You know, I'd watched that game thinking, "Oh my God, I would love to be
coming in from both sides." Yeah,
it was amazing, because it is a bit of a dying art now, where you sort of see a ball getting, you know, go to the touchline and whiz it across. So for that particular game, I did think, oh, you know, that I would love to have played with that. But then obviously there is parts of it where, yesterday if I was in the box, obviously as a striker, I'll be saying square with Wilf, or I'll be saying do this, do that. But sometimes you've just got to let Wilf do what he wants. But it's a fair comment. Yeah, you can get, you know, you make a run and it don't come in. If you do it 4 or 5 times, then you sort of go, well, why should I start making, you know, why should I make another run? So fair comment.
Jill, we're going to just move on to their goal. I want your views, please. Ashley Barnes pulls one back with a glancing header from Ashley Westwood's right wing cross. No man's land came to mind. Right, over to you, big man.
No, because I'm not having this. I'm not having it. Like, Wayne's getting massively unfair criticism. I'd say, right, firstly, it was a completely... He had no one... It was like Townsend just didn't even bother to go next to him and try and stop the cross. And then secondly, Barnes, as much as I don't like him just because of his association, but he's a trier, and he's 3-0 down, you know, and they're 80-odd minutes or whatever, and he still manages to get in between the perfect ball over the top of Tompkins. Dan, he's got in between the centre backs, and Wayne can't come for it, but he sort of doesn't. Totally not his fault. No way in a million years was that his fault. Total. And then of course you had all the haters come out and just killing him. You know, I mean, I immediately, within 3 minutes, he made 2. I thought he made 2 mistakes in the first 3 minutes. And it was also a bad punch. But apart from that, I thought he had a pretty decent game. His distribution, that awful ball, which is obviously not him, it's the team order, but that ball out left for the flick on header, which happened once yesterday in 10 kicks, it only got flicked on once. It drives me mad. It's a waste. It's a total waste. Because 9 times out of 10, we knock it out, or it goes out, and we give them back the ball. No matter who it is, we just give them back the ball. But anyway, I thought you made out with it. Fantastic save in the first half from Ashley Barnes. Definitely Barnes, as you know, he thought he was going to score that. Big strong arm up, great save, and then, you know, after they've scored, a few minutes later, Crouchy thinks he scored. Don't care what anybody says. He has pulled off and almost welded out. So I thought we had a reasonable game there, and like I say, unfair criticism, definitely unfair criticism. And again,
he says,
well, there was another ball back to him yesterday from whoever was on the left hand side, fired it at him, but he can't control it. He's having to run 10, 15 yards to his left to take a pass on his left foot that resulted in a corner to them. So, but yeah, no, I thought we did all right yesterday.
Neil?
Yeah, look, people are going to make mistakes, and what I've noticed is as soon as someone like Hennessy makes a mistake, it's like, oh, excellent, we've won the game, but I can have a dig at someone now. So it is a bit unfair. Yeah, for the goal, you can't blame him. He can't come and get it because he's in between, as Gerald said, in between. So you've got to give credit to the striker there and say good goal and move on. We won the game.
So we finish it, running out 3-0, 3-1 winners. So we've got 9 league games left to go. We've got 33 points in the bag already. I've been saying to you all season, I reckon 35 points is the benchmark that we need. Okay, so we are 3 points from mid-table. Don't forget we're playing the Weed at a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. So in theory, we can take 11th place. If my maths, my eyes aren't good enough to be able to see that league table, but I believe we can take 11th place by 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, if I've got that right in my head. Our goal difference is -4, hugely superior, and as good as another point anyway. Touching distance with another season in the Premier League, and still in the FA Cup as well. And that, my friends, was that little stat I just gave you there, was taken off Twitter earlier in the day. It's not my stat, so thank you for whoever was on Twitter that was. So Crystal Palace have now scored 9 consecutive Premier League games for the first time ever within a single season, which I think is a brilliant stat. Batshuayi has scored 5 goals in his last 7 starts in all competitions for English clubs. Wilfried Zaha has had a hand in 6 goals in his last 6 Premier League games, 5 goals and 1 assist, 1 more than he managed in his previous 21 out of 5 and 5 assists. Burnley mustered 18 shots, their most in their 38 Premier League games since managing 21 against Everton in March 2018. So, great win. I think it's a great win, another great win. We've seen pretty prolific boys on the road. Shame we can't turn some of that form into the same form at home, but we must do so at the end of the week when we play that lot, which we'll come on to in a minute. Right, here we go. Big boys, are you ready? I've got questions for you. Okay, many questions, and here we go. The first one, and Neil, just so you know, we have viewers all over the planet. We have lots of contact from Australia, New Zealand. This particular guy is a regular contributor. Is a guy called Simon Cribben in Canada, in Calgary, in Canada. He said, if you could do it all over again, would you do anything differently? In fact, there's something, the question on the screen. Would you trade your place in that promotion-winning team and to give you some opportunities to play with Wilfried Zaha pinging those crosses in for the right? Funny, I think that's a similar question to somebody's already asked. If you had your time, would you do it all over again?
I wouldn't change it. No, if you're asking me, to literally, get in a time machine and go and do it again, when you start off as a kid and lucky enough to be a professional footballer, you always say if you can have 15 years in a game, you've done well. Some pros come and go. I managed to get to 15. I'm very proud of the teams I played at Palace. I was lucky enough to play with the great Lombardo. So we had our kind of players who now, we only had one back then, but now it's world class all around. So in a way, yeah, of course you miss that, and it'd be interesting. But to be honest, no, it's just a complete. I loved my spells. I played with loads of teams and stuff like that, but I wouldn't swap any of it. Although it would be good, but yeah, sorry, no.
Fair enough. Our younger viewers out there, I want to just give you a couple of numbers. In 1996 to 1998, Neil made 61 appearances for Palace, scoring 20 goals. In 2003 to 2005, he signed for us again, played 41 times, scoring 8 goals, making a total of 102 appearances for the club, scoring 28 goals. Those numbers right, mate? Do you know your own stats?
Well, I don't. I'd like a few more. Can we not sort of, gamify this a bit more?
Okay, sorry, that was a typo. 78 goals, my mistake.
He'd have been getting booed for that, wouldn't he? It's like, it's the old Ben Techie all over again. We didn't even know.
Yeah. Ben Techie on our right there. Question 2 comes from a guy called Mark Taylor. Good evening, Mark, and thank you for your question. Here we go. You know what's coming up next, don't you? Is that shin that you're well known for? That shin at Cardiff. Okay. In 2004 playoff final, what was the team's expectations before that game? Did you expect to win?
We don't expect, but obviously you want to win. And it was a double shin, by the way. I won't have just one shin there. That was a double shin, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my mistake.
No, look, loads of things clarified what went on that day. I mean, we had John Arbin, bless him. He was a fitness coach, rugby league man. He hated football, but just wanted to get us fit. But we had these rubbish, tatty T-shirts on saying one more round. Obviously, one more game, one more round. So we rolled up with our old tracksuit tops, tracksuit, these old tops and stuff like that. West Ham were all in their suits like they would do, like the FA Cup finals and stuff. So we kind of knew when we rolled up like that, that we're not going to win, obviously, but you just think, they're counting their win already and stuff. So things like that do weigh up. I mean, what I remember of the game, it was the most average game you'll ever see. You know what I mean? It wasn't a great game, but we were just marginally a little bit better, and it's all about getting that win, and we got it. That was all that really matters in that day.
Somebody else has just asked me, for the benefit of younger viewers, take a step back to the early days. Who was your biggest influences in getting you into football?
Oh, my dad, without a shadow of a doubt.
Tell him about him, because I know about your dad. So you tell us about your dad and his career.
Well, my dad was a centre half. He always said he was a footballing centre half. But believed he should have been playing elsewhere. But he was a centre half. He was a big 6'4", 5", centre half. Played with Charlton, Gillingham, Reading, and he stopped playing at 27 through injury, which obviously nowadays he would have been in and out and played 2 weeks later. But he basically took me under his wing football wise. Playing like under 8s, 9s, 10s, all the way up. I was playing men's football at 15, which toughened me up big time. And he wanted me to go straight into being a pro instead of doing all the apprenticeship stuff. But the team he was managing me, he got the sack, and he said, right, we just played Chelsea. And he knew Frank Sibley, and he said, off you go. You can go to Chelsea now. But I did have to pick of most of the clubs, really. But that's just the way it ended up. But that little season, I was 15 playing men's football. And by the time I was playing against kids, it really was men against boys. It was easy pickings for us.
It's quite interesting, because our next question is from a guy called Daniel Hunders, who asked something very similar. I mean, so that he was in your early days, but during your professional career, who was your biggest influences as a player? Playing alongside somebody, who would have been your biggest influence?
Biggest influence? Well, I mean, early day I was at Chelsea when sort of Dennis Wise was a good captain. He was good to play under. And then I moved on to Southampton. Letitia. I was fit back then, and I'd done all his running basically. So he could go and do what he wants and start flicking them up and volleying him for 30 yards. But he was unique, let me tell you. He was. We used to train, and where the nets have got the little squares and stuff, he would actually say 4 down, 3 across, and he would put the penalty. Literally, where the little thing on the net. He was incredible.
You just want to punch it.
Well, no, we just turned round. I mean, we only missed one penalty, didn't we? I mean, that was against Mark Crosley for Nottingham. But no, when it was a penalty, we just turned round. He was that precise of where he wanted to put the ball. He was a special talent.
Right, Joe. Okay, over to you, because I believe you got a question.
Well, yeah, this is just something that I've always been interested in asking professional people. People that have sort of had a career, been there, seen it, and done it. So it's a sort of like a 3-part, really. Your funniest, saddest, and your strangest moments in football. And that's a bit convoluted, but yeah. So the funniest thing, the strangest and the saddest.
The funniest, Christ, yeah. I suppose I should have got these questions earlier, shouldn't I? Funny.
We did say that, and you said.
I did offer. I tell you what, while you're thinking about it, I've also got. We'll move on to something else because it is quite a convoluted question. Who's the best manager you ever played under?
The best manager is between Harry Bassett and Neil Warnock. Without, brilliant people. They were old school. If I had to pick one, I would go Harry just above Neil Warnock. But we could talk now, and my argument would be we could come up with the best formula of how we think we can play. But if the players don't buy into it, it's useless. So for me, the best thing you can have as a manager is your personality and your man management, and these two had it. When you played well, they told you played well. You got a pat on the back, and when you played bad, obviously they told you played bad. So, and I think that's what players, well, certainly back in my day, that's what you wanted. You just didn't want to. If you got dropped, you want someone to be man enough to say, "Look, I'm dropping you because you ain't scored for a month or something like that." Whereas someone like Glenn Hoddle, who lacked personality, I remember being at Chelsea. I didn't know any better. I was 18, and don't forget you got Dennis Wise there and stuff like that. No one knew the team. He used to come in and ride it on a little board, and that was how you'd know if you were playing or got dropped. So I didn't know any better at 18. I just thought, okay. And then I'm looking at Dennis Wise. Luckily, he was captain. He didn't really get dropped. But that's how a lot of players got dropped. You just poke your head around in the change room and see the little things put up.
What did you do? Did you just go home, or did you watch the game?
Oh, you watch the game. Free bar, wasn't there?
Back in the day, I suppose.
You're good help, mate. You're good help. Right, I'm just going to move on to Ben's question, if you don't mind. It's funny because you mentioned Chelsea, and he's actually picked up on something about Ken Bates. During your career, you must have worked with some really strange characters and personalities, not just on the pitch but behind the scenes. And in particular, he's thinking about Ken Bates and Simon Jordan. What were they like as chairman, and can you compare them, please?
You can't compare them. I was 18. Do you know what? I think I actually saw. Well, of course I saw Ken Bates, but I didn't get past. There was a hello, how you doing, Mr. Chairman? I didn't have no interaction with him, to be honest. It was that's how I thought it was. Like I just said about managers and stuff. But Simon Jordan, yeah, of course I've got an opinion on him. For me, I didn't have an agent. You see, when I signed second time round, he loved it. Absolutely loved it. I didn't have an agent, so he phones me up. I think the lads are training out in Marbella because he lived out there. It suited him and stuff. And he went, "Oh, we'd like you to come over. We get a private jet and all this." I mean, we don't have to get a private jet. I'll just get BA to Malaga or whatever. So it was all a load of flannel to impress me. But I was way past that by then. I just said, "So I'll get a BA flight. I'll see you out there and stuff." And of course, he loved it. Absolutely loved me. I didn't have an agent. So. But anyway, let's fast forward. So this is what the man's like. So I'm captain. We're doing this. It's just probably when Kemba got sacked. Yeah. He's coming, and we used to do all these testing. You see, so it'd be you tie something around your waist and you jump, and there'd be a little bit, a bit of string that say you jumped, I don't know, 25 centimeters or something like that, and all the other tests. So I've come down to training. Was it Kit Simons when he was caretaker manager? So he's come in and he went, "Oh, we're training." He went, "Chairman's coming down to a word after the game, after training." I went, "All right." So for about half hour, I'm thinking, "Wow, this is that bad often. What's going on here then?" So I couldn't really concentrate. After training, went to see him, sat down in the change rooms. He went, "Right." He went, "I've noticed that got the test results. You're not jumping as much as you were, And
the chairman's telling you this.
The chairman is saying that he's done these tests, and I'm jumping 2 centimetres short. You know what I mean, off the test. And I actually said to him, I said, "Are you fucking for real? I mean, you've come and met me down here to tell me you think that's why we're not winning games because I'm jumping 2 centimetres shorter." So for me, I don't like him. It's as simple as that. I don't like when we got promoted. When you come in for pre-season, everyone should have a smile on their face. It's the same people that work there now. winning, everyone's all, face like as if someone's died and that. And I mean, come on, we're in the Premier League. This is great. He's come round and absolutely slaughtered everyone, for not doing the paint properly or not doing this. He's an ego man who, thank God, I don't have to see him anymore.
So, on that subject, then, there's a follow-up question. Then, and this is not written down. What do you think about him on TalkSport?
No, I don't listen to TalkSport anyway. There's too many people on there that I can't stand their opinions. They think they're so important. But no, that suits him down to a T, doesn't it? He's up there giving his opinion, and if people want it, then great. But I certainly won't be listening to what he's got.
Oh, you still there, Neil? Because Joe, you still there?
No, yeah.
That's all right, mate.
You're
that's all right. You're lagging a little bit, mate. Just let me know that you can hear it, right?
We'll drop him out and bring him back.
Yeah, we'll just drop you out, mate, and bring you back in. I don't know about you, Jill, but I've got a sneaky suspicion Mr. Jordan ain't his favourite person.
Yeah, but the thing is...
Hello, Greg.
We know
Greg,
that...
Nice to see you, mate. Greg. Jill?
No. What?
Here he is! Neil, can you hear me, mate? Neil?
It's lagging again.
Neil?
So, I don't know if it...
Right, okay.
We'll take him out, and put him back in a minute when he gets sorted out.
Right, we'll move on while we wait for him to come back, because he'll be back in a second, because I want to do some of those quick-fire questions. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder to you that on Saturday we are playing Brighton at the lunchtime kickoff. The game was moved, okay? It's a 12:30 kickoff. So if you're going to go into Wetherspoons in Croydon or wherever you're going to go, do it early. Please do it early, because it's going to be a very, it'll all be over by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You turn up at Sellers Park at 2 o'clock for your beer, okay? Tough luck, it's all over. While we're waiting for Neil to come back and join us, okay, I also want to remind everybody out there that we are looking for a couple of helps, please. One of them is I'm still looking for a job. It's Nick's begging bowl, we call it. But the second thing, and more important, and I'm only joking about the job, we also need and require a sponsor for next season. Okay, we're not looking for massive money, okay? If you get in touch with myself or Jill or any of the producers, we'll talk you through what we need and what we're looking to achieve. We want to grow this to a bigger package for you guys wherever you are in the world. So if you want to do it down in bite-sized chunks, that's fine. We don't need it all up front. Okay, if you want to do it in conjunction with another company, that's also fine. Whatever you want to do. We just want to improve the product so we don't have lagging issues like we've got with Neil at the moment. So please get in touch with us if you fancy sponsoring us for next season. And I'll tell you what, this is what I made the offer to the people that are watching last Sunday, when I briefly mentioned it last Sunday. If you get in touch with us in the next few days, we haven't got a sponsor for between now and the end of the season. We will give you that sponsorship free of charge between now and the end of the season. And that could be going all the way through to a cup final, don't forget. So pick up the phone, talk to Nick, talk to Jill, talk to Greg, I don't care who it is. Give us a buzz, let us know, and you can sponsor us for all the next season. It's not massive money, folks, but get involved.
Don't ring me about it. I'm going to spend it on a holiday.
Yeah, you're not on holiday yet, are you?
Not yet. As soon as I get their money, I might be. I'm joking, by the way, just in case they'll be like that. Oh, the Olio's going to steal our money. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't have anything to do with the cash. Someone else has all the money. So I think we're trying to sort out Neil's collection in the background. So I can't imagine it'd be very long.
I can see a picture of his waist.
Lord Glance has just put in the chat. He said, I used to love hearing you Muppets on the beach for the last 6 weeks. This is a geezer that's basically been sunning his backside for the last 30 years. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been great.
In the chat, Jill?
Yeah,
Neil's back.
Yeah, there's loads of comments. But Neil's yeah, back. I mean,
Jill.
Yeah.
Neil's there.
Better.
Right, okay. Moving on for you. Greg's mum. Greg is the producer. Neil, and this is his mum asking a question. Most football fans obsess about worldly goals, okay? Your playoff final goal was by no means a worldie. I don't think you meant that as an insult, okay? But it's important. But the importance of it was absolutely enormous. How do you feel about scoring that goal and the ramifications of that goal?
For me, that's a worldie. You know, I mean, we can talk about obviously proper worldies, but you know, the game's not not perfect. Although we're trying with VAR and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, football's not perfect. So goals can mean a difference for everyone. For that particular day, for me, I was captain. You know, we won 1-0. I scored the only goal. For me, that goal might have been from the halfway line. It was special to me, and it always will be. You know, as I said earlier, I do the thing up at Legends, up at the ground, hosting, and people say to us about that goal, and I always say, well, look, if I'd have missed it, I wouldn't be doing this now, would I? So, you know, that goal has been very special for me, and now I am, popped up.
4 yards offside, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, get out of it. What? Yeah, I could have been a lot stronger with that. But what I will say, and that's that what I did that day is followed in a shot. All right, so any young strikers out there, young kids playing, that's what you do, and you can do that 100 times, like I have done, and nothing ever comes of it. But that particular day, it come out, and that's where you get your rewards. You know, so. Yeah, for me, that's a worldie. I know it's not, but yeah, goals.
Mate, it is to us. Listen, I went down there. Neil, I went down there. I was squashed literally nose to nose with muggy West Ham fans on the way down there, okay? But they were fine on the way down there. On the way back, they weren't quite as good. Listen, I just also want to, as Neil, AJ made that goal for you, that little tapping of yours. Tell me about your working relationship with AJ.
Well, it's the old-fashioned big man, little man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of the time, that was, you know, throughout my whole journeyman career, that's what I was known as, a target man. And the little ones played off us, and I had a similar one with, obviously, Dougie back in my first spell. You'd put Dougie as striker and stuff. But I also had the same one with David Connolly at Wimbledon. So for me, the AJ was a pick of the bunch regarding players, and because he had his pace, which is now, you know, he could still, if he was obviously younger, he would still play in today's modern game, because that's what everyone wants. They want pace, but he had a whole lot. He made goals out of nothing. I flicked them on occasionally for him and said, there you go. So it was an absolute pleasure to play with him. He really was, well, great player. His record speaks for himself.
He's actually a genuinely nice guy as well. I mean, this is from me, okay, so forgive me for asking a question, but do you still keep in touch with any of these guys?
No, I'm afraid not. I mean, I was friendly with Michael Hughes. You know, we called him Huggy Bear. He was, you know, great player. But for me, it was you know, don't get me wrong, I liked them all. You know, we all got on, but it was a working environment. Once I left, I was the world's worst at keeping phone numbers and stuff. I've done a question and answer thing with AJ about 3 years ago now, and I've not seen him for years. I've done a walk last year with him, or he done the whole walk. I've done like a little bit of a charity walk and stuff. So I took him. Quite nice going down the Thames actually by Putney. We stopped in and had a few, you know.
That's a Palace.
It was a pub crawl, wasn't it? That's what I heard.
You know, it just seemed a bit. Well, the weather was nice, and I just thought we'll have to stop and have a couple. But no, I don't keep in touch with them all. But obviously, when you do see him, I mean, look, I saw Lombardo about a month ago down at Selhurst. He still looks like he could go and play in centre midfield. He looks fantastic. But no, it was a real good to see him, because he was a class as well.
Right, we're into the last 10 minutes here, and you've probably just answered the next question I've got for you. So we're going to do something very quickly called the quick fire round. Sorry, Gerald, did you want to ask something?
No, we just got loads of little bits and pieces that we got from the chat. So I'm just going to read out the names and just put. It said. So Richard Greenwood said it was a great goal, Neil. Absolutely loved it. Cheers. Glenn Fossey said a goal was a goal, and by Christ, it was important. Paul Grant said. You're talking about worldies, he said that goal meant the world to me. And then Neil Chatterley said Neil's goal in the semi against Sunderland was a brilliant header. So yeah, John Gill said it was special for us too. John Knox has turned around and said, "Do you think VAR will work next season?" Answer that in a minute. Terry Tibbs Lockwood said he loved that kit. Again, you still got the shirt. But yeah, loads of everything's all positive. Legend's been used a load of times. And then, so Ben Allen said, will Neil be the first black cab driver to take passengers across the water to South London when he finally does the knowledge? So there's 3 there. So like VAR, have you got the top, and are you still doing the knowledge?
Right. Sorry, VAR, yeah? First VAR.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Look, no, look, it's such a business now, and everyone wants a perfect game. It's going to happen, and it has happened. It's happened. I need a few more seasons of it. I don't agree with it at the moment. I still think we're trying to get the perfect game when I don't want the perfect game. I want referees to make the odd mistake. I want to go down the pub after the game and have a little chat about it all. And if we want the perfect game, then we've got nothing to talk about. So up in the air with that one. The shirt from a player, if you actually see that, we had these manky old vests that I certainly wore underneath. I think I went off that pitch. Well, no one wanted my vest, that's for sure. So I had my vest, my shorts, and my socks. I think that was it. I might even give my socks away. So my shirt went, my shin pads went, my boots went. And so no, I haven't got that top. I've got others that obviously we get given a few, but that actually top got tossed away to the crowd. And I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, if any of you out there have got Neil,
who's got it?
Neil Shipperley's manky old sock from the playoff final, I want to know about it live on this show tonight. Get in touch. Greg, I'll let you know. Right.
So someone did send me my boots, and I signed it for them a few years back. So
really.
They made contact with us, and I remember to send it to us, and I'll sign it and send it back. Now, as for the knowledge, I'm breaking all kinds of record for how long it's taking, but I'm just kind of getting there now. All right, so I'm hoping. I shouldn't say this. I'm hoping within the year now, like a year, I should be doing it. I've been doing it for about 8 years. It's ridiculous, but you have to do it properly. Kids out there, you've got to concentrate, and you've got to do it. I'm lazy.
Brilliant stuff. I'll tell you what, this is TV gold what you're giving us here, and I'm loving every minute of it. Right, okay, quick fires. I think you've probably done those. Best manager?
Bassett, Harry Bassett.
Harry Bassett. Best player you've ever played with? I think you've already done that, really. And why?
Lombardo?
We go along. It's a Palace show. Lombardo. The fact that we...
Oh, go on in. The other player. Who's the best player you've ever played with then?
Well, Letizia.
Okay.
Letizia would be up there. I would say Lombardo. Perfect. Because back in the day, that's like signing Ronaldo. Crystal Palace getting Lombardo.
I know. We thought that.
We was all going, hold it a minute. Yeah, that's all. I won't believe it until he comes through that door, and he did. Thankfully.
What did you say when Lombardo turns up into our crappy little change room? What did you say?
Well, we first met we played Crawley in a pre-season game. And back in them days, we got told to go and meet. We just met at Crawley, right? So we went 7:30 kickoff. We meet at Crawley at 6:30. That's how you speak. Well, 15:15. All of us, we went to the services and had a McDonald's. Right? We had a McDonald's, right? We had a McDonald's, and that was our meeting point. And Lombardo come to see us. And he must have just gone, what have I done? You know what I mean? It was like a Sunday league outfit.
How different is the game today to when you played?
Of course, it's different. It's the elite now, isn't it? It's elite. As I said earlier, if you're lucky enough to get a couple of world class players, but now it's the whole squad's internationals. I went up the training ground last Friday actually. The other Friday for the first time since I left, and that's changed. It's remarkable setup now. It's all moving forwards. It is for the better, but obviously the working man's game is completely and utterly gone now. They're like movie stars. You don't really get to interact with players nowadays, apart from social media, I suppose.
Who cleaned your boots?
Who cleaned my boots? Well, that was a dying breed, and all that sort of went out the window. By the time I got to Sheffield United, no one done them, and I had to buy my own boots at Sheffield United.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to buy my own boots. I didn't have a sponsor, but no, I used to clean Kerry Dixon, Tony Cascarino, Mick Harford, going back in them days. I forgot Mick Harford's shin pads once. I didn't put them in there, and he pinned me up on the wall. And he was like
a big geezer at all, wasn't he?
Like Darth Vader. He just put me up like that. Don't forget them next time, son.
This is fantastic, mate. This is. I've been asked in our chat. Okay, I'm not putting you on the spot here. I promise you. But this is a genuine question from a viewer tonight. At the end of the season, would you do this again for us and come back and do an end of the season review with us?
Of course I will. It's no problem, boys.
Mate, you're making it gold. Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to ask about banter. Now, in this horrible world of ours of political correctness crap, okay, what was the changing room banter like at Palace? I understand. Did you play with Butterfield?
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Was he the best?
He was a rascal. Yeah, polite way. He was good fun though. He was just like a little baby. You know, I remember when he had a baby, and I thought this must be who goes home and takes responsibility here. I mean, he's the most. But he was good. Yeah, it was him, Sean Derry, and AJ really. I was a bit more experienced then. I weren't going to take any crap off of them, but they were like little boys. You know, they'd go and cut each other's shoes up and jeans and everything like that. So, Butterfield was the one. AJ. Yeah. Well, yeah, really? But they were like the three amigos, weren't they? It was them. They used Sean Derry, AJ, and Butterfield were the ones who used to play it on her. But I will say as well, Tommy Black and Danny Granville, I've been known to put some smells out there, right? Their hotel room, we used to get there, obviously, and we'd have about an hour and a half in your room, and then you go and have a bit of dinner. I used to pop in there. I think it was either to get, a box set, The Sopranos. We all used to share stuff like that. I went in there. They'd only been in the room in about an hour, and the stench of that room was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Who's the hardest player you ever played against?
Hardest player, Chris Morgan for me. He's what you would call one horrible, dirty northerner. You'd want on your side, but you want him on your side. He was great. He actually, I think he smashed me actually. I went to play with him at Sheffield United, but I remember him smashing us when I played for Palace, obviously against United. But yeah, you got to have some of them. Got to have some of them in the side.
Best ground, not Wembley. Best ground.
Best ground. Well, okay, like the Millennium Stadium. I wish
it has to be.
I wish, and I think now looking back, I mean, the rugby was on the other day there, wasn't it? And I looked and I thought, wow, that is a special stadium. As a kid, though, I would say Man United was the one that you always wanted to go to. You know, when I made my debut at 18 and stuff, and you wanted to look Man United because they were the team of the 90s and stuff. But no, I would say the Millennium because I mean, my little stadium now, and no one else can go there and do what I've done unless they rebuild Wembley, or move it about. I don't know.
You hold that record down there, don't forget. So absolutely right. Right, one quickie, and then we're going to come back to Gill's 3 rapid questions that he asked you earlier on that we moved past. Okay, we're going to try and get through them if we can. Eagle Joey asks, okay, what is your greatest moment or your greatest achievement, either at or without being at Palace?
Well, achievement. I mean, look, I didn't win anything. I mean, my promotions. I'm proud to be promoted. Whether it be the play, obviously two with Palace, and going up automatic with Sheffield United. I wasn't lucky enough to. I was in the squad at Chelsea Man United '94 Wembley. Got the suit on, but I was injured. But experienced that. But thought I'd be back next year, or sort of back in 2 years' time. Obviously it don't work like that. But greatest achievement was the double shinner, without a doubt. That's it. Playoff final, 1-0. That's it.
It's going to be on your headstone, you know that. I was 4 yards offside and double shinned it at Cardiff. That's going to be on your headstone.
Well, I think I'm going to be cremated. I don't know what they've decided yet, so I might not even have one.
Right, Jill, you got anything from the chat, mate?
Well, yeah, just quickly. Michael Montgomery said, you still playing golf?
Yeah, not enough. I decided about 10 years ago that for my birthday I'll play golf. I'll get a bunch of mates out. We have a day out. That was because you're getting older, so I'm playing golf there. I'll play on a nice charity day. I play about 3 or 4 times a year, so not enough to get good at it, but enough to.
I think Andy Lucy's got a golf day coming up soon, isn't he? You playing in it?
I'm on that one.
Yeah, I think I might send my son up. I think I might send my boy up to play on that. It'd be a good day.
Yeah, I have a game of golf, but it doesn't take over my life, and I hit a couple of good shots, and that does me. So I'm not one of them competitive who starts sulking and all that when they don't win and things.
Anything else from the chat, Joe?
No, just loads and loads of thanks. Loads and loads of thanks. So yeah, so going back to my one then, funniest, strangest, saddest.
Well, funniest. I think it was at Liverpool early on in my career. I remember tripping up, coming out of the, you had to touch the thing, coming out of the tunnel. And,
this is Anfield, yeah?
I fell on my arse, yeah. I fell on my arse coming out quite narrow. And I always thought to myself, you know what I mean? And there was another one as well. I was at Wimbledon, and we had, not everyone played on telly back then. I think it was a Friday night game, Championship, League One, well, whatever you called it back then, Championship. And I'd never really had my old Barnet done. This was about how good it got. It was a little bit longer than this, but because I thought it was easy, I thought I'll do it myself. You know what I mean? And no, I didn't do it myself. So my missus done it, and she was doing it all right. She was going, number two, like that. And to tie it up all around here, I don't know if I can see all this, but she forgot to put the thing back on, and she went up and around. I swear, was completely bald. And I remember, because that was back in the days when we did play at Selhurst as well, even though it was obviously Wimbledon. And I remember trying to cover it when the Sky cameras come coming down the tunnel, like trying to hide it. The fact that, completely like bald from there. So, a couple of good ones. Look, when we do this again, I'll pull out some other ones, that's for sure. I need a bit of time with that, that's for sure.
Go on, mate. Next one, Jim.
No, well, we do my questions at the end of the season, right? My three. So, but yeah, no, just literally everyone's just giving.
Comment. It says Joe. I can't see the comments on the Facebook page. So
no, it's just big love from everyone and loads of thanks, and everyone's just really appreciative of you coming on and just being yourself, and just literally, I know there was something. Mark Goldberg question. Don't know what that was. Or do you remember your first ever pay packet?
Pay packet, YTS.
At Chelsea.
$37.50 a week.
Wow. What do you think about money today?
That was when we cleaned boots, we swept the terrace, painted the stand. We done the whole lot. So I remember we went on strike once as well, and they paid us late. We went on strike. We downed our paint brushes and stuff. We had a good little crowd back then days, and it was all for one and one for all, as we said, and old Ken Bates had to come down with our pay packets. Not that he probably give him money, it was $37.50, but we showed a bit of character back in them days.
Before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go onto our YouTube channel, link on there. Please hit the subscribe button, because all of your future content, like these interviews that we're doing now and our weekly show, eventually will be going out on YouTube and onto our sister page, the Red and Blue Review page. You're watching Red and Blue News at the moment, of course, but we will be going on to Red and Blue Review next season. You don't have to worry about it for now, but please hit our YouTube thing and like and subscribe. Lastly then, Neil, before I let you go, tell me, what's your involvement now at the club? What are you doing? What is your role at Selhurst on match day?
I am a match day host up at the Legends Lounge. So the corporate side, I know you've got Speroni's and that. I'm up basically behind the goal where all the boxes are. There's 2 rows of boxes. I'm the first row, furthest to the right. There's about 3 or 4 boxes which they call the Legends Lounge. I'm the host in there, and it's great. I've been doing it for about two and a half seasons now, and absolutely love it. We have a good laugh up there, tell a few stories, and
have a few beers and a steak, no doubt, every Saturday.
How dare you?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, Jill, got anything else? Because I think I'm going to wrap it up now.
No. I think we're done.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Nick and Jill's Red and Blue Review. We have been honoured, and I mean deeply honoured, to be joined by Neil Shipperley this evening. We'll see him hopefully again at the end of the season. We'll be back next Sunday post Brighton game. You can watch everything we do on www.redandbluereview.co.uk. My name is Nick Philpott on behalf of Jill and Neil. I wish you all a safe week and up the Palace. Take care, everybody. Good night.